Most people believe they understand human nature. They don't. What they understand is a comforting myth, a story designed to help them sleep at night and cooperate during the day. Machiavelli did not write for comfort. He wrote for survival. And survival begins when you accept a truth so uncomfortable that your mind instinctively resists it. Humans are not good by default. They are strategic by necessity. What looks like kindness is often calculation. What feels like loyalty is often convenience. And what you call morality is frequently just fear wearing a noble mask. You have been taught to see yourself as principled, consistent, sincere. But beneath that identity lies something older and far more honest. A creature shaped by scarcity, status, and threat. Strip away laws, reputations, and witnesses, and behavior changes instantly, not gradually, instantly. Machiavelli understood this because he observed power without illusion. He watched men praise virtue in public and abandon it in private the moment advantage appeared. Not because they were evil, but because they were human. The first uncomfortable truth is this: people are loyal to outcomes, not to people. You may feel this threatens your sense of trust. Good. Trust is dangerous when misunderstood. Loyalty is not an emotional bond. It is a transaction anchored to perceived benefit. As long as you represent safety, advancement, pleasure, or protection, allegiance flows toward you. The moment you become a liability, loyalty decays, not slowly, rapidly. The human nervous system is designed to abandon sinking ships without hesitation. This is not betrayal, this is biology. For most of human history, attachment to the wrong leader meant death. Tribes survived by shifting allegiance towards strength, certainty, and provision. That instinct never disappeared. It merely learned how to speak in polite language. Today, it hides behind words like values, vibes, and alignment. But the mechanism is the same. People stay where they feel secure and significant. Remove either, and their conscience recalibrates instantly. You may want to believe you are different, that you stand by people through hardship. Sometimes you do. But observe closely. You rationalize endurance only when leaving would damage your identity or future. When departure is safe and advantageous, your resolve weakens. This does not make you weak, it makes you predictable. And predictability is what power studies. Once you accept this truth, social reality rearranges itself. You stop asking why people changed. You stop feeling shocked when support evaporates. You stop taking loyalty personally. Instead, you begin managing conditions. Machiavelli never advised begging for faithfulness. He advised controlling incentives. Fear and reward are more reliable than affection because they operate below conscious storytelling. People can lie about what they love. Their behavior never lies about what they need. This is where discomfort deepens. If loyalty is conditional, then moral outrage is often theater. People condemn betrayal only when they are the ones abandoned. When they benefit from switching sides, they call it growth. When others do it, they call it treachery. The mind protects its self-image at all costs. That self-image is more valuable to most people than truth, consistency, or honor. Understand what this means for you. If you rely on being liked, you are fragile. If you rely on being needed, you are stable. If you rely on being feared and respected, you are insulated. Power does not come from emotional bonds. It comes from structural relevance. Machiavelli knew this. He warned that leaders who confuse love for loyalty eventually discover how quickly applause turns into silence. This truth is not meant to make you cynical. It is meant to make you precise. When you see humans clearly, you stop bleeding unnecessarily. You stop over-investing in narratives that were never real. And you begin positioning yourself where allegiance flows naturally toward you, not because of who you are, but because of what you represent. And this is only the first layer. Once you accept that loyalty bends toward advantage, a darker realization follows, one most people spend their lives denying. Humans do not seek truth, they seek psychological comfort. Truth is tolerated only when it flatters identity or preserves status. When it threatens either, it is attacked, mocked, or ignored. Machiavelli understood that deception works not because people are stupid, but because they want to be deceived. The second uncomfortable truth is this: people prefer illusions that protect their self-image over realities that demand adaptation. You see this everywhere, though you may not name it. People cling to narratives that make them feel moral, intelligent, or victimized, even when those narratives actively weaken them. They will defend these stories with emotional ferocity, not because they are true, but because without them, their inner structure collapses. This is not a flaw of modern society. This is ancient. The human brain evolved to reduce psychological pain, not to pursue objective accuracy. In tribal environments, believing the wrong thing was less dangerous than being emotionally destabilized. Confidence mattered more than correctness. A frightened, self-doubting human hesitates. Hesitation meant death, so the mind learned to distort reality to preserve certainty. This is why people hate being exposed more than being harmed. An insult wounds pride. Exposure destroys the narrative they live inside. Watch how quickly someone becomes hostile when you calmly point out a contradiction in their beliefs. Their reaction is not intellectual, it is visceral. Their nervous system interprets your words as a threat. You are not attacking an idea, you are attacking their psychological shelter. Machiavelli exploited this without sentimentality. He knew that those who control perception control behavior. If you can offer people a story that allows them to feel righteous, hopeful, or justified, they will surrender astonishing levels of autonomy. They will repeat your words as if they are their own thoughts. They will defend you against evidence. They will call obedience belief. This is where power becomes subtle. The most dangerous leaders do not force compliance. They shape illusions so well that compliance feels voluntary. People believe they are choosing when they are being guided. They believe they are thinking when they are being reinforced. This is why symbolism, ceremony, and narrative have always mattered more than logic in maintaining authority. Logic informs, illusion binds. You must understand the inversion here. The masses believe those in power lie to them. The truth is more uncomfortable. Power survives because people collaborate with the lie. They need it. Remove it, and you remove their sense of meaning, their moral superiority, their emotional safety. That is why whistleblowers are rarely embraced. They don't just reveal corruption, they remove comfort. Look inward now. Notice how your mind resists certain ideas instinctively. Notice which truths irritate you before you even evaluate them. That irritation is not random. It marks the boundary of your current identity. Beyond it lies growth or collapse. Most choose neither. They retreat. They call the truth toxic, negative, or dangerous. Machiavelli would smile at this. He knew that labeling is how weakness protects itself. If you want influence, you must never attack illusions head-on unless you intend to dominate. Exposing someone without offering them a new psychological shelter creates enemies, not allies. People forgive manipulation more easily than humiliation. This is why skilled operators do not shatter beliefs. They redirect them. They replace one illusion with a more useful one. But there is a warning embedded here. Once you see how illusions work, you are tempted to despise those who live inside them. That contempt is dangerous. It makes you careless. Remember this: you are not immune. You also live inside stories. The difference is not purity, it is awareness. Power belongs to those who know when they are telling themselves a lie and when the lie is strategically necessary, because the most uncomfortable truth is still approaching.
When you understand that loyalty is conditional and truth is negotiable, you are ready to face a third truth, one that quietly governs every room you enter. Humans do not respond to morality, they respond to strength. Morality is often just the language used by the weak to restrain the strong, or by the strong to pacify the weak. Machiavelli saw this clearly, and history has never contradicted him. The third uncomfortable truth is this: people respect power more than they respect goodness. They may praise kindness, but they follow certainty. They may admire compassion, but they submit to dominance. This is not a cultural flaw, it is a survival mechanism. In unstable environments, strength signals safety. Weakness signals risk. The nervous system reacts before the mind has time to argue. This is why confident liars often outperform honest hesitators. This is why decisive leaders are forgiven for cruelty, while gentle leaders are punished for hesitation. The human brain is constantly scanning for cues of control. Who sets the pace? Who speaks without needing approval? Who remains calm when others become emotional? These signals matter more than ethics when authority is being unconsciously assigned. You have seen this play out, even if you have not named it. The person who dominates a conversation without saying much. The individual whose silence carries more weight than another's words. The leader who breaks rules and is admired for it, while another follows rules and is ignored. This is not hypocrisy, it is hierarchy asserting itself. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. Early humans could not afford democratic deliberation during threats. They followed those who appeared capable of decisive action. Strength, real or perceived, reduced uncertainty, and uncertainty is what the brain fears most. Even today, people would rather follow a flawed authority than exist in ambiguity. Certainty is soothing, even if it is false. This is why power often looks immoral to those who do not understand it. They confuse restraint with virtue and dominance with corruption. Machiavelli did not. He understood that appearing strong was more important than being liked, because strength creates order, and order creates survival. Love fades under pressure. Fear endures. This is where many listeners become uncomfortable with themselves, because if people respond to strength, then your moral posturing may be irrelevant, your fairness may be invisible, your good intentions may be silently dismissed. The world does not reward what you feel, it rewards what you project. Projection is not pretending, it is signaling. Animals do it instinctively, humans do it socially. Your posture, your tone, your timing, all communicate your position in the hierarchy. You are always being evaluated, not consciously, but biologically, and once assigned, that position is difficult to escape. Here is the psychological inversion Machiavelli grasped. People claim to want justice, but they obey power. They criticize dominance publicly while submitting to it privately. They resent authority figures, yet crave their approval. This internal contradiction keeps them manageable. Conflicted minds are easily guided. But there is danger here for you. Once you learn that strength commands respect, you may be tempted to perform it theatrically. That is weakness disguised as aggression. True dominance does not seek validation. It does not announce itself. It is felt. Overplayed strength reveals insecurity, and insecurity invites challenge. The most powerful individuals do not dominate constantly. They control escalation. They allow others to feel comfortable until they don't. This unpredictability is what enforces hierarchy. Consistent aggression can be planned around. Controlled restraint cannot. Understand this deeply. Morality is often a luxury afforded by power. Those without power cling to rules because rules protect them. Those with power bend rules because bending rules demonstrates power. This is not fair, it is functional. And once you see this, you can no longer unsee it. You begin noticing how often virtue is invoked only after dominance fails, how morality appears when leverage disappears. But the most disturbing truth is still ahead.
Once you understand that strength commands obedience more reliably than virtue, the fourth truth reveals itself, and it is the one most people instinctively reject because it threatens their sense of control. Humans are driven more by fear of loss than by desire for gain. Hope motivates briefly. Fear engraves behavior permanently. Machiavelli did not speculate about this. He observed it relentlessly. The fourth uncomfortable truth is this: people are more controllable when they are anxious than when they are inspired. Inspiration fades, anxiety conditions. The mind can forget pleasure, but it never forgets threat. This is because loss signals danger to survival, while gain is merely optional. The nervous system is wired to protect what it has before seeking more. This is why fear is such a powerful stabilizer of power structures. Not panic, not chaos, controlled fear. The quiet understanding that certain lines should not be crossed, that certain consequences are real, that security is conditional. When people feel completely safe, they become reckless. When they feel slightly unsafe, they become compliant. You see this in relationships, workplaces, governments, and social groups. Remove consequences, and respect erodes. Remove uncertainty, and discipline decays. Machiavelli understood that mercy without threat breeds contempt, not because people are cruel, but because boundaries define reality. Without boundaries, the mind tests endlessly. Fear does not need to be loud. In fact, the most effective fear is subtle. It lives in memory. It is recalled, not constantly enforced. A single decisive punishment, clearly observed, conditions dozens who never experience it directly. This is how systems maintain order with minimal effort. The mind learns through observation faster than through pain. This is deeply uncomfortable because you have been taught that fear is immoral, that it is corrosive, that it is a sign of tyranny. But Machiavelli was not concerned with moral approval. He was concerned with stability. Fear, when precise and proportionate, creates predictability, and predictability is the foundation of control. Here is the inversion you must grasp. People say they want freedom, but most cannot handle it. Freedom demands self-regulation. Most humans lack it. They crave structure, even when they resent it. They complain about rules, yet feel anxious in their absence. Fear provides the external discipline they cannot generate internally. This is why permissive leaders lose authority quickly. Their generosity is interpreted as weakness, their patience as indecision, their forgiveness as an invitation. The human mind does not reward leniency, it exploits it, not consciously, instinctively. Boundaries signal strength. Strength signals safety. Safety creates loyalty until it doesn't. But there is a danger for you here.
Fear must never become emotional. Once fear turns into hatred, control erodes. Hatred sharpens resistance. Emotional cruelty unites enemies. Machiavelli warned against this. The goal is not suffering. The goal is compliance without rebellion. The most effective operators create an atmosphere where consequences are known but rarely used, where punishment feels inevitable rather than frequent, where silence does more work than shouting. Fear works best when it feels impersonal, like gravity, not like vengeance. Look at your own behavior. Notice how quickly you change when something you value is threatened, how discipline appears instantly when loss becomes real. This is not hypocrisy, it is wiring, and others are wired the same way. Once you understand fear's role, you stop moralizing power. You start engineering environments. You stop asking how to be liked. You ask how to be respected without constant enforcement. Because the final truth will show you who this knowledge is really for. By now, the pattern should be unmistakable. Loyalty follows advantage. Truth bows to comfort. Strength overrides morality. Fear engraves obedience. These are not separate observations. They are parts of a single mechanism. And now you reach the fifth and most uncomfortable truth, one that separates observers from operators. The final truth is this: most people do not want power. They want protection from responsibility. Power is heavy. It demands decision, consequence, and isolation. The majority prefer to outsource this burden while criticizing those who carry it. Machiavelli understood that those who truly seek control are always a minority, and that minority must think differently to survive. This is why people complain endlessly yet act rarely, why they attack authority while depending on it, why they fantasize about influence but recoil from the sacrifices it demands. Power exposes you. It removes excuses. It forces you to confront outcomes rather than intentions. Most would rather remain morally comfortable than operationally effective. You may feel a quiet tension now, a recognition that these truths resonate uncomfortably with your own experiences. That tension is the dividing line. On one side are those who want to feel right. On the other are those who want to be effective. Machiavelli wrote for the latter, not because they were better, but because they were honest about what the world rewards. Understand this clearly. Power isolates. The more clearly you see human nature, the less you can participate in its illusions. You notice manipulation where others feel sincerity. You notice hierarchy where others see fairness. You notice fear where others see policy. This awareness sharpens you, but it also distances you. This is the cost no one advertises. Most people sense this cost instinctively and turn away. They mock what they fear becoming. They label it cold, dark, or inhuman. These labels protect them from confronting their own avoidance. It is easier to condemn power than to accept its weight. Machiavelli never promised moral purity. He promised clarity. And clarity is dangerous because it removes comfort. Once you see how the game is played, you can no longer pretend it isn't. You can no longer rely on virtue to save you, or truth to protect you, or love to anchor loyalty. You must become structurally relevant, psychologically disciplined, emotionally contained. This does not mean cruelty, it means restraint. It means understanding when to speak and when silence exerts more force, when to reward and when to withhold, when to appear flexible and when to become immovable. These decisions are invisible to those outside power. That invisibility is part of their effectiveness. Here is the final inversion. The most controlled people in society believe they are free because they choose within boundaries set by others. The most powerful are constrained by awareness, responsibility, and consequence. Freedom and power rarely coexist. You trade one for the other. Most choose freedom as comfort. A few choose power as burden. If you are still listening, it is because some part of you recognizes this, not as fantasy, but as recognition. You have seen these dynamics in your own life. You have felt the cost of naivety. You have sensed that the world operates on rules rarely spoken aloud. This channel exists for those who prefer clarity over comfort, control over illusion, and understanding over reassurance. Entering this space is not about entertainment, it is about orientation. Those who belong here do not follow blindly. They observe, they adapt, they decide. Subscribe, not as a favor, but as a declaration that you are ready to see the world as it is, not as it pretends to be.